Senator Smith Marcel, Senator Mitchell, Senator Szilard, Senator Williams, Senator Joyce, Senator Ontiveros, Senator Norman, Senator Ochiocha, Senator Armstrong, Senator Demas, Senator Lubale, Senator Guerrera, Senator Okafor, Senator Arantes, Senator Watson, Senator Darden, Senator Goldthorpe, Senator Richmond, Senator Yezek, Senator Al-Hadi, Senator Muta, Senator Meyer, Senator Amix, Senator Baker, Senator Whitsett, Senator Sita,
Okay, we'll go on to the approval of the minutes. I sent out last week's minutes to you guys. You should have had an opportunity to view them. Okay, all those in favor of the minutes, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Those opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, moving on. Is there anyone here for open forum? Seeing none, we'll go ahead into committee reports, events.
Vice President Burns, Vince Committee's been packing finals bags. So on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m., if anyone is free, please feel free to stop by and help us pack the rest of the finals bags so we can get them to the library for Thursday to get some out to nursing people and then get them out next week so that everyone can have finals bags. So we should have about 120, I think, left to pack. So any help would be appreciated. That's tomorrow at 5:30. Thanks.
Okay, communications.
I'm finishing the newsletter. I need to write one more part and then I'll be sending that out. And then I made a post for executive board members. Yeah.
Giusta Medina, this week rules did not meet, but I emailed Josh both of the changes discussed in previous general assemblies, and they got approved by him. Just waiting on Dr. Ferguson's approval. So the changes are officially in the Constitution.
Moving on to student voice reports. Health Science Center. Currently don't have a senator for that position. But I will say that they just wrapped up PTO2 week down at the Health Science Center. And from my one-on-one with Dr. Haas, it looks like next year there'll be a lot of more opportunities between multidisciplinary teams, from med school to PTOT to psychology. So I'm really excited for what next year holds for y'all. For College of Arts and Sciences.
So I was able to talk with the dean today, and he told me that just the students are getting ready for their finals and having a great semester this year.
College of Education and Psychology.
Senator Mitchell here for education psychology. I have talked to some psychology students. They are pleased of right now. I'm not gonna say exceptional, but pleased with the with the advisors. I hear that a lot of advisors are doing better, or with better with their career paths and different things like that. So I will say that we are looking at a higher percentage of psychology majors and different things like that are having a better time with their advisors than before.
Hey, thank you. Moving on to officer reports. So Monday, Dr. Haas, the provost, and Hayden and I had our one-on-one meeting. We discussed academic advising and kind of, solutions, and she forwarded that message to Dr. Philly. Currently, they're looking at, processes. They know it's a problem that we have long wait times, and they're really trying to figure out a solution and kind of work towards ways that we can be better with our advising here on campus. Sorry, this mic is horrible. But also today Hayden and I had our one-on-one with Dr. Philly as well. We discussed academic advising, SGA updates, and some plans for next year as well. I do also want to note that we also made Dr. Haas aware about kind of some of somehow because some education majors are a little unaware of the splitting of the colleges, what some marketing opportunities or strategies they will have for next year to kind of combat this.
Vice President Burns, yeah, I'm going to reiterate what Victoria said. I attended those meetings with her, with Dr. Haas and Dr. Philly, and got the opportunity to make those connections and, plan for next year. So I'm really excited, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity. And for me, also independently, I've been working on planning the banquet. I just went and got the food, so hopefully it's good. And also been working on finals bags. So, and then also Andrea has helped us quite a lot with packing them, and a couple senators. So, and then I'm just going to reiterate, if you're free tomorrow at 5:30, we're going to be finishing packing finals bags.
Secretary Coburn, other than working on the newsletter and working on the minutes in YouTube, I helped pack some finals bags, and I've also been talking to other student organizations to repost some of their posts for them, to give them better marketing.
Allie wrapped up the last SGAC meeting last week. Additionally, she's been working on the budget recap, and she'll provide that presentation whenever she's available.
Chief of Medina, I attended our last executive board meeting after not having one for a very long time, and helped with packing finals bags, as Vice President Burns said earlier.
Hey, does anyone have anything to add to old business? No? Close old business. Those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, I entertain a motion to open new business. I entertain a motion to open swear-ins. Okay, so how this will go is basically I will swear in the e-board, and then the newly elected e-board will swear in the new senators for next year. And after that, I'll continue the meeting, but Hayden will swear you guys in. Okay, so will the new board rise? Okay. So raise your right hand and put your left hand over your heart. Okay, and repeat after me. I insert name. Do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interest of the student body University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association. while ardently executing the office of insert position. The student body at the University of Texas at Tyler. Great, congratulations.
Everyone, will the Senate-elect please stand? And raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I insert name. Do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interest of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association while ardently executing the office of insert your position for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler. Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations, everyone. Okay, I believe that is everyone for swear-ins, so I entertain a motion to close swear-ins discussion. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, I entertain a motion to discuss end of semester review. Okay, so I had the opportunity of, scheduling out times to meet with you guys. However, I do know time didn't allow, and I kept that in mind for my presentation. So for the spring, I will say it was a very notable spring. We created new opportunities for one-on-one time for constituents, like the tailgate, like our town hall. And additionally, we've had 2 senator tabling events. We passed 2 constitutional amendments. We created a new system for the judicial board, and we started our monthly newsletter that has never been done before. That being said, unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts and unforeseen circumstances, I was unable to meet with everyone individually. So I thought it'd be most productive for a conversation to kind of discuss the questions together as a group, and additionally include the new senators in the discussion so we could find a general consensus. So our first question is, how did you hear about SGA? And I will, entertain, you guys can grab the mic and kind of go along. And, after we answer all these questions, I will put what the general consensus from my interviews was as well. Not everybody at once. That's it.
I attended the organization fair at the end of Patriot orientation my freshman year, and I met them and then applied as a freshman.
Senator Lubalo. Senator Shaka. Senator Arajaka here. Senator Arajaka here. I heard about SG. Okay, I'm sorry. I heard about SG my freshman year here from President Okafor because she was in the Senate, and she actually brought me into SG, and I've been there since my freshman year, and I'm in my junior year now. So, yeah. Senator Muita. Oh, Senator Muita.
Senator Muita here. Heard about it from Senator.
Senator, sorry, Senator Gassu here. Millie dragged me to a meeting. Senator Orjaka.
Senator Mitchell.
I was gonna say the same thing. Senator Mitchell. It's kind of the same thing for Linda. She texted me. She's like, "Oh, you should join SGA," and so I did. So.
Sure.
Yeah, same for me. Chris told me after Linda told him.
Rocha.
Senator Teosha, I think I joined all the way back from Inglewood Bennett. I don't think y'all were here at that time, but Bennett, and then we had like before Chloe, I forgot who was the president, but that's how I was introduced to SGA.
On to the next question. How has SGA facilitated your growth? And by that, I mean, how has SGA helped you growth? And what is something you take from SGA and bring, towards your career or your future? Senator Myers.
Senator Meyer, I would say that SGA helped me a lot with my I would say I was outgoing, but I wasn't like public speaking outgoing, I guess you could say. And it just kind of helped me versus like my first meeting here, I was kind of like, I'm never gonna grab that microphone. I'm never gonna speak in here because that's embarrassing. But then it just started growing. Like it helped me with my confidence and just like being able to say like what's on my mind to be able to better our school. And that like I carry that everywhere. So now I'm not afraid to do those things outside of SGA.
Senator Otiocha.
Senator Teosha, when I first joined SGA, I think I was probably the most unprofessional person. So I think being SGA kind of helped me get that sense of like prior to SGA, I wouldn't wear a suit and things like that. I'd probably come to a meeting with shorts. I remember my first year, that was probably the type of person I was. And it kind of helped me grow. And I think even like Robert's rules, I've gotten to implement it in some of our pharmacy organizations because we normally just meet, talk and then leave. But we kind of have a structure now that I've kind of replicated what we do in SGA and some of those orgs. So that way it's like, I motion to those kind of procedures to kind of create a formality in our, professional program. So.
Also said SGA helped her a lot with public speaking and she's learning to get better. Senator Goldthorpe.
Senator Goldthorpe. So I'm a social work major and I currently am doing my internship at a group home with foster care girls. And I actually had helped implement a SGA type of organization inside the group home to give these girls a sense of leadership. So we took a lot of stuff, what we do here, like the Robert's Rules of Order, and I implemented it inside that leadership.
Senator Al-Hadid.
This is Senator Hadi. So for me, it's okay. For me, SGA has played a vital role for me, though it's just 3 weeks. The thing is, as I'm an international student, and as I told you before, from my past experience, I had
like a long time working in the industry and also visiting multiple countries and communicating with like Sony, Samsung, these brands. The thing is, I always like to vibe with the new frequencies. When I came here and I was searching, like one day I was spending my lazy time and I found SGA through Patriot Engage. And I thought that let's click it here. And then I got some idea. So the thing is that every moment is kind of teaches you how to learn something or how to know new skills. For me, it's like that when I am in this environment, I'm kind of learning things. I'm adapting with new culture, new perceptions, and I'm kind of welcoming this. And there's a good news. Good news I would like to share you. Like last time, I told you that I owned the second place in the big idea pitch that was organized by ETX Launchpad 2025. And last month in March 25, I won the first place in the new venture pitch competition. That was, thank you so much. That was organized by the ETX Launchpad. It's their biggest event like for this year. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity and I am actually enjoying the whole thing. So I don't know if I'm doing it right or wrong, but I'm having fun. That's it. And thank you so much, I think.
Senator Watson.
Senator Watson here. I would say that my involvement in SGA has really reinforced my heart posture to be a voice for people. That was part of my passion for wanting to come here in the first place, and it's definitely where I come from for my position in wanting to be a lawyer. And so I've been able to express that here and do it in action almost because of the conversations I've been able to have that I otherwise probably would not have, you know, with certain leadership and with you all. So it's been wonderful to have this experience thus far.
Senator Khalid said that she found out about SGA when I reached out to her in the School of Medicine Senate. Okay, so next question was, what were your first impressions from SGA and how has that, you know, stayed the same or differed?
Honestly, since I didn't join at like the very beginning of my freshman year and you guys had already like kind of known each other, I was very intimidated when I first started. Like I was like you, I didn't want to speak at all. I was never going to grab the microphone, but now I'm very comfortable and have a sense of belonging with you guys. So
Senator Montes. I'm gonna say like the first meeting that I came, I was so confused after what was going on. I like there's so many terminology that I had no clue that what occurred with those terminology and all that kind of stuff. And then as I came to more meetings, I became more familiar with it. Of course, I'm not perfect at it. Definitely not perfect at it, but definitely more aware of what is going on. And so, yeah.
Senator Mitchell.
Senator Mitchell, is it on? Here we go. Senator Mitchell, I want to say this because somebody scared me of SGA, Linda. But like I said, she made it seem like y'all were going to like when I did my special election, y'all were going to like destroy me with questions and different things like that. Yeah, it made it seem like I was actually in front of a court. So, but like I said, like now it's getting simmered down to like I believe that we're all friends here now, and like I love all you guys. Y'all are like my second family. So, you're always making me laugh, as y'all can tell.
Okay, Thank you for that. And, with all those, first impressions, keep in mind with our guest speakers, our open forum, that's the impression they come into the room with. They don't get to stay for those multiple meetings and kind of get to know the Senate. It can be a little scary for them sometimes to come in front of a group of people, even though, they are adults. So going forward and next year, keep that in mind when you're asking questions and being mindful and respectful with your questions as well. So next question is, where do you see SGA heading in the future? Follow.
Senator Lubale, I would say since I first joined SGA, if I can speak honestly, I was kind of confused on like what we did. We're student government association, but like I was really confused on what we did for the students. Like, because it at one point in time it just felt like we were a bunch of students that came in every single Tuesday, had a meeting. If you were part of events, rules, whatever, you would have that separate meeting. But it didn't feel like we did anything for students besides like midnight breakfast, honestly. But in this semester, like me and you have kind of had conversations separately about situations that have gone on with housing. And yes, I know she's bringing up housing again. Yes, I will continue to bring up housing because that was something that was really unfortunate that affected all of us. But just seeing the efforts that you put in as an e-board member from when I knew you as a senator, I will say I feel like it kind of, we have like this new, what's the word? I don't know. Yeah, like a new purpose, like moving forward. Like we're actually trying to represent students instead of being a bunch of students that go to the same school that all meet on Tuesday at 5:30. Like it seems like we're actually trying to do stuff for our constituents because ultimately that's why we meet every Tuesday at 5:30 for them, to represent their needs. And I want to commend President Okafor for like the side conversations I've had with her about housing, about my personal college, health sciences department. Like she's actually lent her ear and was like, I totally agree. And like used her power as SGA president to set up meetings when me as a regular student probably wouldn't be able to do that. So I hope SGA continuing to move forward, listen to the constituents, listen to the senators that are bringing forth issues, whether it's housing, whether it's meal plans are too expensive, whether it's whatever. We're supposed to be a voice for the students. We are actually students ourselves. So how can we claim to want to sit in this room every Tuesday and we don't want to, like, I don't know, forge democracy? So that's what I would say. Let's do that more. That was fun.
Thank you, Senator Lubale. I'm tearing up.
So SGA is doing pretty good so far, and all the students in the campus know about SGA. But from my perspective, I would hope that SGA would be more data driven and would be more relying on the students' feedback, like getting as much as feedback possible. Maybe the feedback could be logical, but the more data we have, as I am from engineering faculty, I always think about the data and analysis like that because it helps. Sometimes it's bad. So SGA would be more data driven, and SGA is currently like representing the whole student body, not only students, the administration, faculty, and everything in very perfect way. But for me, I would think that in future, SGA will not only represent, it will kind of anticipate the student's need before it takes place. So yeah, that's it.
Makes sense. Senator Dasu.
Senator Gasu here. So, for some of the new senators, you already know, but they lied to me. They said we were gonna go on a trip, and it never happened, but that's okay. I think SGA, like, we definitely get our names out there. I was impressed by, she's not here, I don't see her, but it was one of the College of Engineering senators, and she was able to talk to her dean to get like shirts to people, like the pink and blue shirts that y'all see that says like College of Engineering. That was from SGA. They had scrunchies. I see a lot of people using their scrunchies and stuff like that. So I feel like we have definitely started, like, people know about us, and I see us continuing to just hopefully next year, like, everybody just get their name out in front of their buildings and just table more. But I do definitely see SGA expanding into the student body, because I feel like the housing stuff, like, we kept talking about it, but we actually did something about it. So it was always good to be able to feel like we're not just talking. That's it.
Senator Goldthorpe, did you have your hand up? Oh. No more questions. We have our final big question. If you could change anything regarding SGA by adding or subtracting, what would you do? Senator Rivera.
Okay, Senator Wale. Full honesty again. I know we have to maintain a certain formality in this setting because we are senators and e-board and justices and whatever. I think my biggest thing, because sometimes I forget to do it, the motion to I would personally get rid of that. Like, if you have something to say, here's the mic, just say it. Like, I feel like going through all of it again, Josh, don't be mad. I know we have to keep it. I know we have to keep it. I know we can't take it out. But for me personally, the motion to and the swearing and the no. Like, I would just, if Ivy has something to say, Hayden just gives the microphone to Ivy. Sanaya has something to say. Just you know what I mean? Like, we just give we don't have to do that. We like laugh at everything. We're laughing right now. Like, we don't have to do that.
Agree, there is, some sort of formality, but you can change it.
No, I know.
Yes, we follow Robert's rules. I don't know if it mentions Robert's rules specifically in the Constitution. And House rules are are technically our rules. I agree. SGA is very formal sometimes when it doesn't need to be formal. And coming from HOSA and area, we followed parliamentary procedure very strictly. I didn't like it. I'm not a fan of Robert's rules. But it's always something that can change, and that's the beauty of SGA with the constitutional amendment, which we did 3 this year.
Right now.
Senator Meyer, if I can recall correctly, I remember that when I first joined, we had like a senator training for new senators, and I don't remember if we do that anymore, but I do know without that, I was like very confused. I didn't know what we had to say before we spoke. I was like, do we have to say here or present? Like, I was just like, this is crazy. Like, I'm stressed. I'm trying to figure this out by myself. But then we implemented that training. So I feel like, I don't know if it's gone, if we still have it. I don't know, but I do know that a lot of like the new senators feel the same way when they come in. They just kind of don't know. And it's kind of like, if you don't have a friend in it and you do just join based off of like seeing it on campus or something like that, then you are kind of confused. Like Kelsey, she joined this semester because of me, and I've been helping her, but like without the things that I've told her, she's always telling me like, I don't know what to say. I don't know, like, should I say something? Like, what do I have to say before I do this? And she's always panicking like before grabbing the mic. So I would just say like, if there was anything I could add to SGA, it would be to get the senator training back, just to make sure that all the senators that join are on the same like accord again.
That's true. When I first joined, I did special election, and President Dix had scheduled a meeting with me to go over all the rules. And it was a whole presentation, but I too didn't know how to motion do any of that. Even with my training, it was still a little difficult to kind of figure out when and where to do it. Senator Yazik.
I believe I mentioned it before, but if we have name records for these tables, I'm a very visual person with being able to put names to faces. It would be very helpful to know who everyone is. A photo directory that listed people's position and what they did with those names would be great for collaboration.
Something like 2015, 2016 in Ratliff. So maybe it's something you guys can implement next year. Senator Rivera said that kind of making the website better too. Senator Sue?
No tea, no shade, in all respect. I feel like I checked that dress code maybe an hour before. I feel like if we are business casual, then we should all be business casual. If we're business professional, let's all be business professional. But I am not gonna lie, I feel like we can definitely enforce dress code more. Although it's in the email. We're supposed to be business casual. Have us not business casual right now, but it's okay though. It's okay. We can work on that. So that's what I would add. Like just straight, like if we have an event, like the town hall, like things like that. Like if we have a presenter, then we need to announce the date. Well, the meeting before. Like make sure you look nice. Don't just come up in here. Just yeah. Thank you for your service. You should be an example.
At the risk of sounding uninformed, do we have anything to like for SGA senators to participate in like volunteer work? Like outside of like I mean like at East Texas Food Bank, at Salvation Army, like stuff like that. Cause I know like a bunch of SGA senators who are like in fraternities or sororities, like they need volunteer hours or like certain like me personally to keep my like military scholarship, like I have to volunteer like certain amount of hours. And I was wondering if we do anything like that, like aside from big event and Arbor Day, like do those even count as volunteer hours? Okay, yes. Okay. Do we have like aside from those things, do we think we could like add hey guys, by the way, if you need volunteer hours or interested in volunteering, like you can I don't know, go to the East Texas Food Bank from like this date to this date, like a few SGA senators go there for, you know what I mean? Like is there a way that we can add that more into the academic year instead of just like those two events?
I definitely think like a big part of leadership is service. And I know it's something Tyler mentioned in the past of kind of making Tyler Page former vice president for those who are new. But yes, I definitely think volunteering is important, and this is something good that we're bringing up now. So those who are e-board in the room, work towards that next year. And I will also say, oh, that's it. Believe, yes, Regina, we do have a group chat. Treasure Dines.
Yeah, speaking of the e-board, I really think that the e-board should be granted the liberty to vote again. I feel like we miss out on a lot of opportunities regarding stating our opinions because we want to avoid bias in the room, which I absolutely understand. But our inability to vote on certain matters makes it hard for us to give like an opinion regarding a circumstance. So if that could be maybe looked into by the chief of staff next year, that'd be great.
I will say that is a controversial opinion. It was very, very debated back my freshman year. I'm sure Senator Otiochi remembers that too. So it's just up to next year. Also, Sarah said that she'd like to have more fun activities within SGA and the school org. Senator Al Hadid.
Senator Al here. So this is one of the most vital aspect for any organization, and especially for student government organization or associations like that. So I have 3 key points that I would like to introduce based on which we can make some progresses, I think. One is that whenever we are joining any organization, the first thing we have to be like everyone should feel at home. Like they should not feel nervous or like first 1 month, 2 months they're just coming and going, or like I'm just adding the points. It's not like I'm criticizing anything. You guys are doing really, really great. From my observation, I'm just giving some points. If it's okay, you can consider that. If it's not, you can scratch it out. First thing is that, as I told earlier, we should have more feedbacks. So to have the feedback, we should arrange a kind of ice-breaking session in which everyone can be more open to give the opinion. And first of all, I can see, I don't know, I cannot count exactly right now, but probably like 30 of us here. So I think it would be better in every meeting if at least once everyone is taking the microphone and giving some input. That could be anything. That could be what they think or what they feel. That can give us some data or some input to work on. This is one thing. And the second thing is that SGA is arranging many events. This one is for expanding the SGA's wings and popularity among the students. That is, as UT Tyler is a well-known university, we can arrange some workshops by SGA, if it's possible, that can actually help the student. So, if you don't give something, then no one, maybe some of us is coming based on our intuition or based on our self-inspiration. But if there are some workshops that actually can help them in their student life or in academia, we can have more engagement. Like the workshop doesn't need to be arranged by outsider. Maybe inside of us, some skills, or some of us have some kinds of connections. We can use that and have some workshops so that we can, we can increase the visibility of SGA, so that more people and the new students, they will think that, yeah, from SGA we're getting these kinds of benefits, so we should connect more to SGA. This one. And the third one is, I said, like skill building opportunities workshop. And yeah, the thing I would also like to add, like if we have some more fun activities, like that would be obviously. Yeah, thank you.
Senator Meyer.
Senator Meyer, just to add on to what you said, I do agree with all of your points. I think since I've been here for a little while, I can say we have a lot of workshops that go on already on campus. So maybe for the next year, if you guys do choose to implement this, maybe just partnering with some of the ones that already do go on, that could also help get our name out there as well. Because I know like our academic affairs, they have workshops, and then we have like resume workshops and things like that. There's like a bunch of different ones. UT Tyler hosts, P2, they host workshops. So maybe we could get into a couple of those and just partner with them. And then I also agree, just like some more like fun activities or just like different activities outside of, the meeting every Tuesday, maybe once every 2 months or once a semester, we go to like Urban Air or we go somewhere. Tyler doesn't have really that much stuff, but maybe y'all can find something in the next couple years or next semester, maybe over the summer, y'all can start brainstorming some things y'all want to do. But I think that would help everybody like get to know each other better, because I feel like the closer we are, the more we're like opening to speak up about the things we really do care about and like how we truly feel instead of, you know, keeping things off to the side or not saying stuff because you don't know how someone else may feel. So I think that would help a lot with just like everybody being able to speak up and get to know each other better. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. So that was our last question, and these are basically the results. So about 75% of people said that they heard of SGA from word of mouth. 24% said by emailing from this year. 87.5% said collaborating with different groups is kind of what SGA has facilitated with them. So they wouldn't have met so many different people from different majors, different walks of life without SGA. 50% of that of the people said that SGA kind of brings them out of their comfort zone and kind of facilitates their growth through that. And then 75% said through professional development as well. 100% said that one thing, I want to, the first seven, so excuse me, 100% of everyone said that their first impressions from SGA was that it was very organized, very clear rules and stances, and then 12.5% said representing the university well as their first impression from SGA and like coming to the meeting. So 75% said that they see more outreach, and that means basically SGA kind of getting their name out there a little bit more. 12.5% said that fuller seats, so they potentially see a fuller Senate than the one we have now and have had in the past. And 12.5% said that they see SGA having more events and more socials and being a little less professional at meetings. And then these were kind of some of the big points from the last question. So same thing you guys kind of echoed, more opportunities for senators to get to know each other, more training opportunities for senators, e-board, and justices, more tabling and senator projects, and then more interactions with those we hear from Speaker's Podium and Open Forum. Okay, that's it. Do any of you guys, have any comments or questions or things you want to add regarding, the end of semester, end of year conversation? Senator LaValle?
Senator Lubale, one last closing statement. Sorry, I've been talking a lot. I just want to thank everybody in the room, e-board, all the senators, like from when this academic year started back in the summer. Technically, did it start in the summer? With this new e-board to now, like I think we've all like put in a great amount of effort with showing up for mandatory events, showing up for meetings even when we didn't feel like it. Like still having conversations about, things that were happening. So I commend everyone. I feel like we did a great job this academic year, and I hope we continue to do even better job next academic year. So round of applause for everyone.
I agree. I'm glad to have, sat down and at least had a conversation with every single one of you guys in the room, minus the new senators, but I'm very glad to get to meet you guys. It's been a wonderful year. I'm very happy with all the work you guys have done and how well you've represented your constituents. I wouldn't have been able to get the feedback without you guys, and from hearing from your voice reports and bringing that to administration without you. So truly thank you, and thank you for the work you've done in, representing your constituents. And I want to also thank my e-board for being patient with me, and, being the face of SGA and kind of helping and supporting me throughout this semester. So, seeing no more discussion, I entertain a motion to close end of year review. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? I entertain a motion to discuss end of year budget review. All those, never mind.
Okay, so this is going to be a yearly recap in addition to also kind of explaining what happened over the spring regarding our budget. My name is Allison Barnes. I was a former treasurer for anyone in here who does not know. Okay, we can go to the first slide. So just as a yearly recap, as some of you may remember, this is one of the slides that I presented to you guys during the original budget presentation. This kind of explains what I estimated all the funds to look like for the given 25-26 academic year. The yearly budget at the very top here, it says 28,959. This is what we were allocated for the 25-26 academic year. And so with those numbers, I split everything evenly down the middle and allocated 8,904.5 to the fall as well as the spring, and then I give SGAC 5,000 equally just based on historically what former treasurers have done in the past. Moving on to slide number 3. So just once again, as a reminder for you, for anyone who is unaware, this is what our fall budget looked like. You can see the actual fall spendings ended up being less than what I allocated, which arguably is good and bad at the same time because we want to spend as much money as possible so that we can get our funding increased, but also we need to make sure that we're spending within reason of what we can properly allocate. And so the SGA events portion would be things like midnight breakfast, any type of marketing, travel, all that stuff. We ended up spending $6,548.32 with the student success contribution for midnight breakfast depicted below. And then SGAC ended up spending $4,133.43. And we did not end up using any of our emergency fund, which is something that I personally incorporated this year just because I wanted to be extra safe, nothing bad would happen. So moving on to slide 4, this is the spring portion of this. So the estimated spring portion, essentially how I got this extremely large number is I took anything that we did not end up spending in the fall and I contributed it to the spring portion of our funding. And so we ended up only spending $6,812.26. Since Midnight Breakfast ended up being such a collaborative event, we ended up really not using a whole lot of event funding, which once again, it's good and bad. So I'd say a recommendation for next year's treasurer as well as like the e-board in general would be to think of more creative ideas to spend our funding and really reach students in the best way possible with the funds that we have if we do continue to collaborate on Midnight Breakfast. And then SJC, you also saw a decrease in funding allocated, which was $3,952.93. We didn't use any of our emergency funds. I would assume that the reason SGAC saw a bit of a decline, interestingly, because I ended up approving all except for 2 events for like spring's SGAC. I think it's just because more people are like focused on concluding the year rather than hosting events. And so something I would recommend for all the committee members inside of SGAC would be to really incentivize the funding aspect of SGA and how we can help student organizations and not just advocating for our constituents, right? So moving on, budget breakdown, SGAC. I know this is a lot of words, you guys. I'm so sorry. It's essentially just every single organization that the SGAC funded in the spring semester, as well as the 2 co-sponsorships that we had the opportunity of being a part of. So you can pause for a second and take a look at that. Maybe you see an organization that you're in, or maybe you've attended a couple of the organizations events. Okay, moving on. So budget breakdown, senator tabling, I just kind of wanted to give a little shout out to all of the senators as well as classifications, like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, that actually took advantage of senator tabling. When I give the original presentation at the beginning of every semester, I try to encourage senator tabling because I do allocate a specific amount of funding towards that specifically. And like, we don't touch it. It is specifically for y'all. And so I just really want to thank the College of Education and Psychology, the College of Engineering, as well as the junior classification for taking advantage of this wonderful opportunity that we have with the fundings that we have, as well as being up for the challenge because it is new and it's kind of hard to go and request funding like that. So and then lastly, because I know I yacked your ear off for a little while, this is kind of everything in a nice little slide for you. The yearly recap updated for the end of the year. We ended up spending $17,494.01. And you can kind of see the breakdown here, kind of just focusing on yearly events, which SGA events ended up spending $9,407.65, with SGAC spending $8,086.36 out of the $10,000 that's allocated for the semester, which is pretty good. So yeah. Moving on. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for me? Thank you.
So also, last year, to be totally upfront, we are left with kind of a sum to spend for the semester. Otherwise, if you don't use it, you kind of lose it. It rolls forward out of our account. And so, some ideas that, eBoard and I had was maybe updating the office. We used some of that funds to table for freshmen and kind of get the word out, and that's how we acquired Senator Whitsitt. So if you have any ideas for how they should use a large sum of money for the summer, your ideas are welcome. Does anyone have anything else to add to the budget discussion? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the end of year budget review discussion. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? Does anyone have anything to add to new business? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close new business. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions?
Go to Six Flags is what I heard. No. Oh, what to do with the money? Okay, I see where that was going. I'll work backwards. Allie did a great job. Let's give another round of applause. It is very complicated to keep up with all of the requests, what's been requested, what's been approved, what actually went out, and then correlate that with all the other expenditures. And so out of the 10 years, Allie was almost 99% spot on to what I had on my spine every time and on what I could see on the back end of the official university account. And so it was always easy. Every time we would meet, it was the fastest one-on-ones I think we've ever had. In and out, make sure we're on the same page, keep going. And so budget is great. Victoria's spot on. It gives the new eBoard an opportunity to figure out what we're going to do. I always encourage, how is it the best use of funds to benefit the entire student body? And so that's always going to be the leading questions because it is student fee money and we want to be good stewards of that. And so I'm kind of curious to see what the new eBoard comes up. It is the new eBoard's decision in the summer because they are the acting Senate in the summer. And so they will get to decide on how those funds are allocated. And then it all resets September 1 and we start over. I loved hearing a lot of the feedback. And so I know there were some happy moments, some tear jerkers comments in there, but it was great to hear that because I think some of those information could be used to help with recruitment. Sometimes y'all are viewed as very structure, too business, too intimidating, and not really recognizing that y'all are going to get stuff done. You're going to talk about the issues. Y'all typically know about the information before other students. And so how do y'all help get that information back out to students? And so hearing a lot of y'all stories tonight was pretty awesome. And then hearing all the accomplishments, I mean, y'all have done a lot. And there's times, you know, and I've talked with the e-board. It's like, man, what did we do? I was like, well, you've done quite a bit. And so I've been very active and beyond proud. Every year as an advisor, it's a reset button. I see this group hit reset and every year's different. And so I don't ever know what I'm going to get until about end of September. I kind of have an idea like, okay, here's what this SGA is going to be focused on. And so what I am proud is I think this group is a lot more cohesive together than prior years. And so to think about 10 years ago when I started to now, it used to be very divided. And now you are one big organization trying to serve the entire student body, regardless of your majors, regardless of your classifications. And even in the fall semester, we had distance campus senators, regardless of location. And so I'm hoping we can keep that momentum going in future years. New senators and new e-board, congratulations. Welcome to student government. As your advisor, I'm here to help, support you, and to advise. And so if you ever have questions, come talk to me. And so I don't know if you don't, I don't know what you're thinking without coming and speaking. I'm here to help. Have an open door policy. If I'm there, my door is open, I am fair game. Sometimes I have candy, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have swag. The jar in the middle of the table. Yeah, the mints. Yeah. Darth Vader. Yeah, Darth Vader has candy in there. Anyways, come visit, come chat. If you got an idea, let's brainstorm it. I will do my best to advise you to the best of my ability. If I don't know the answer, I don't have a problem asking either. It's all about learning. It's all about asking the questions. I want y'all to be the best student leaders on campus, period. And so we've got to exemplify that and we got to lead by example. And so we're going to continue to work on that. So beyond proud of you. To all of our seniors graduating, thank you for remaining in the organization. This student government tends to be a predominantly sophomore, junior based organization. But for seniors to stay on and to continue that momentum, thank you for your service and for leading. And so it's always bittersweet to say goodbye and to kind of start over. And so it's the hard part of our jobs as administrators and faculty is to say goodbye. But that's why you're here, is to get education and to move on and get ready. So other than that, I'll save the rest of my comments for later. All right.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, for announcements, we just have our finals bags. We'll be working on them tomorrow, 5:30. And then next week, we're gonna be distributing them. Also, if you'd like to help me distribute them and table with me, you're more than welcome to. Shoot me a text. Yeah, does anyone have any other announcements for the week? Also, I did want to announce that the President's Council Spring Olympics is canceled for this weekend due to bad weather. Okay, other than that, I entertain a motion to adjourn. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, you're now adjourned. You're welcome to stick around for our banquet. We have Bruno's and then we also have our award ceremony and Stoles give out.